can make sense. Like, look, it is kind of unfair that, like, if you can raise the money, you get out, but if you can't raise the money, you can't get out. That doesn't exactly seem just. But then they took that and went, okay, so also we're not going to prosecute property crimes. We're essentially going to, like, as you were getting at with the domestic violence stuff, like quasi-decriminalize some violent crimes, give out tickets for shoplifting, and then just allow the public streets to be completely overrun with homeless people and drug users and things like that. And to me, none of that has anything to do with libertarianism or...
So we have reached the character arc of Dave Smith where, you know, he is kind of being boosted right now after that colossal Joe Rogan appearance from Douglas Murray, who I won't say, when I say colossally, okay, after that terrible appearance from Douglas Murray is a fraud, but I won't say that Dave Smith smashed Douglas Murray. I'll never say that because he actually smashed Dave Smith. But, you know, right now everybody's talking about the debate and everything, and that's fine. And, you know, it's kind of good to know his political leanings. He is a libertarian. And so this is a debate with him, Ana Kasparian, and Cenk Uygur, you know, about the libertarian position in America and all of that and, you know, what's going on there. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the video.
Just common sense. I mean, that's just like a recipe to destroy whatever area you live in. So I would like to see, like, I think there should be enforcements against carjackings and shoplifting and things like that. These are not victimless crimes, and those should be illegal. And certainly choking your girlfriend or something like that should be extremely illegal with serious consequences. And I don't believe that homeless people should be allowed to set up encampments on public property. Public property is something that everybody has been forced to contribute to the creation and maintenance of. And so therefore people should have some right of some say over what goes on there. But at the same time, you know, just the only thing I'd push back on you is when you say, like, oh, you'd rather go back to that world. I mean, I understand why. I probably would feel the same way if I was living in California, but you sure wouldn't feel that way if it was like your kid or your brother or something like this who caught like a 30-year sentence over, you know, something that should just be legal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so they're both bad options, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. I think one option has been more disastrous than the other, and it's what we're currently experiencing in California. However, I totally agree with you that there was common sense criminal justice reform that everyone in this state was in favor of, which is why they voted in favor of a proposition called Prop 47 back in 2014. Everyone was under the impression that it was going to avoid prosecution of people with like a small amount of pot, you know, that kind of stuff. But they kind of did a bait and switch where something voters did not know was going to happen. Again, they took felonies and they lessened them to misdemeanors. And by the way, that also includes things like child sex trafficking. And it makes...
So, you know what? The problem is, you see, here's the thing, right? I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it, you know, because that's why you have to have I don't want to say a position. I definitely am not going to say a label. I am not a label girl at all. Matter of fact, I think it is because of these labels why a lot of this stuff is able to happen. But you need to have I guess it's a position, something you stand on. Look, being charged, you know, for many years or whatever, you know, in prison for just having like a little small bag of weed, it does sound egregious. It does sound bad. The problem is, and if you guys haven't figured out with government, is that when you ask for compromise, they take it to a whole different level where now people with 7 priors are getting out able to go murder somebody else. Where did it start from? It started from criminal justice reform. Sorry, I'm keeping it real. And I know people who personally have said this to me. Okay, this isn't some edgy position, okay? It's just, it is what it is. Don't get caught with that small bag of weed. Oh, but I'm black, they're going to get... No. What happened was you're in a car that has a broken tail light or, you know, or like not registered, and then your bag of weed is like right there when you get caught up, right? Make sure your car and stuff, now they don't even have those kind of laws anyway. Like a lot of those laws went away. The problem is you keep compromising. You don't get it. I had somebody I know tell me, all we wanted from the the New York, I don't know who they were, the council, city council, whatever, was to remove bail for people who were like getting caught with the bag of weed or whatever. And then she was like, now they're doing it for people who are killing people. That's not what we asked for. I said, yeah, but y'all still don't understand. That's not how it works. The government isn't here to help. They're here with an agenda. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't. Like, I don't know the solution just yet to this, but it's just the truth.
No sense to me whatsoever. But I largely agree with what you're saying. I think if they had moderated the approach, I'd be way more in favor of the criminal justice reforms.
Yeah. So look, the pendulum keeps swinging it too far in all directions, and it's a normal part of politics. But Dave,
there's nothing normal about that.
Libertarians are particularly caught with bad options, which honestly a lot of us are, because we're on the left. But the political spectrum is not what it was. And so we're more populist than progressive these days, depending on what you mean by progressive or populist. And we don't like the corporate Democrats or the corporate Republicans or Trump either. So, but I know which direction our voters are more likely to go. But I don't know which direction libertarian voters are more likely to go. And of course you don't speak for all of them. But what's your sense of which way libertarians are more likely to go in this election?
Yeah, I mean,
so this was a little early in the game, but I actually want to hear what his thought process was with that, because of the crypto push that Trump started to push with the libertarians, and also with Ross Ulrich. He did get him out of jail, which is very shocking to me. But by the way, guys, if you like these videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and a notification bell. Also, this is when Cenk was starting his this was right before elections. Cenk was starting his grift of, we're populists, and all this. You are corporatists, okay? Since you like labels. Me, I'm realist. I'm Christian, okay? I'm truthist. Okay, let's get back into it.
I mean, it's hard to say exactly what the percentages are. I think that there are there's definitely some libertarians who will be supporting Donald Trump. I think a big part of that is the thing that everybody the thing that most people who support Donald Trump are driven by, which is essentially just that, like, the other side deserves to lose so much. And like CNN and all the corporate Democrats you're talking about, they just deserve to lose. I also do think that there's, and I think fairly, it is viewed by a lot of people that Donald Trump has been totally sabotaged by the intelligence agencies, by the Justice Department, that, charges were brought against him that never would have been brought against any other president. I mean, look, like, the three of us know all these presidents are criminals. I mean, every last one of them. The great Noam Chomsky famous clip where he's just listing the war crimes that every single president since Eisenhower has committed. And it's just insane. I mean, any one of them could be prosecuted, but they never prosecute any of them, and they definitely totally decided we're going to bring up everything against this guy. So I think that has pulled some libertarians in. There's some libertarians who are going for Bobby Kennedy.
This must have been mad early. Please excuse me. It was quite early. Okay, so we already know that Bobby Kennedy ended up going with Trump and, the Zionist propaganda. So look, I'll say this, right? Because I definitely, like everybody knows, when I first started this channel, it was full MAGA, DAGA, red hat wearing and everything. And I will always cherish those moments in life. I met some amazing people along the way. Unfortunately, for some of them, it stopped at Donald Trump. And now that Donald Trump is president, everything is okay. And I'm here to tell you that there is still a big, donor class of people who are still pulling the strings, okay? But what I will say is definitely I'll never, ever stop saying that 2020 was taken from us. It absolutely was. I watched it. I saw it. I was devastated. Devastated, so I'll never stop saying that. And the problem is that as much as people can point to a lot of stuff that Trump did that could be considered establishment, he didn't do enough. So I think that they had to show him that, if you don't toe the line, this is what we do to you. And then they went after him. He was a threat. At some point, a deal was made. And that's the part that bothers me. I wasn't, it hurts me to think about it. But, because I have to put these things out of my mind because people are people. But there was a deal made. Right now, people are there are some minuscule amount of people who are realizing This isn't what they bought into. And it's a shame because you could tell the switch up. I'm not saying that a bunch of people hate Trump now. I'd be lying if I said that. But a lot of people don't know yet what's coming down the pike. I'm not blaming it. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. No. I just know the people around him don't have the best ideas for America, the best thoughts for America. And he took money from these people. He had to. I don't know. They made the legal cases drop. That man was looking at 300 and something years in prison. All of a sudden, everything scaled right off him. So we know how that goes. We know that there are deals made that we don't know about. And so that part is a shame because it's like we just can't have anything. We couldn't even keep Trump, right? But what can you do? You know what you can do? You can focus on you. At the end of the day, people are people. Like I said, right? Focus on you. Focus on God, family, property, you know? And we keep it pushing. We keep it real with the inconvenient truth. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.